Spine straight. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Take a deep breath in. Hold it there. Om. 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 Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Yo Anta Pravisha Mama Vachamimam Prasuptam Sanjeevayatyakila Shakti Dharasvadhamna Anyanshya Hastacharana Shravanatvagadin प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं समचरण सरोजं सान्द्रनीलाम्बुदाभं जघननिहितपाणिं वन्दनं वन्दनानां तरुणतुलसीमालां कन्धरं कञ्जनेत्रं सदयधवलहासं विठ्ठलं चिन्तयामि विठ्ठलं चिन्तयामि. Pranams to the Lord. Pranams to all the Mahatmas in tonight's Eknathi Bhagawat session. We are doing the crux of the 11th canto, the 19th chapter. And in that now, today onwards, we are entering into Bhagwan's answers to the loads of Uddhava's beautiful questions, what he had asked till yesterday. We were reading those. Today onwards, we'll see the answers. Let us start. श्रीभगवानुवाच अहिंसास्तेयमस्तेयम् असङ्गोरीरसंचयः आस्तिक्यं ब्रह्मचर्यं च मौनं स्थैर्यं क्षमा भयम्. Meaning of the verse: non-violence, truth, not to steal, unattachment, bashfulness, no possessions, belief in God, chastity, silence, resolute courage, forgiveness, and absence of fear. 377. In the first verse, Yama with its 12 varieties is the subject. And now the Lord Shri Krishna is giving answers. 378. As there are many questions, head, the Lord is giving definition of each term in short. 379. The Lord said, non-violence means not to hurt anybody by physical body, by speech, or by thought. And truth means to speak only that which is a fact and which is wholesome and kind. Please listen to the quality of non-thieving. 380. It implies not to steal or rob actually, physically, anything from anybody, and also not to harbor thought or desire in our mind about coveting other people's belongings. 381. What is unattachment? Take the example of people traveling to a place of pilgrimage. They are together, but they are not attached to anybody. Similarly, a man is not attached to his house, etc., though he has all the things around him. 382. The crystal appears to be having the color of the thing on which it is kept, but actually it has no color. Similarly, a man appears to be a body in which he lives, but he is not attached. 383. When a man is really disgusted about any bad deed, and when he is abashed, when he is feeling deplored, when confronted with any bad deed, this quality of mind is called bashfulness. 384. He does not collect things and other mental accretions of thought in this world, nor does he provide for heavenly pleasures by creating accumulation of merits, because he realizes that food and shelter are available to a man only by the virtue of his prarabdha and therefore he does not have any possessions. 385. By merit of good deeds here, there are many pleasures enjoyable in the heaven after death. But when the stock of the merit is finished, one has to come in this world again. So, my devotees, do not have possessions of such things which create perishable merits. 386. These qualities are called non possessions. And now please listen to the nature of having belief in God. The devotee sees everywhere only me, pervading as Brahman, and does not see any place where that Brahman is absent. 387. Now, celibacy is observed when the code of conduct laid down by the scriptures is followed meticulously. 388. What is silence? When a man does not speak untruth, does not use unbecoming language, regularly recites Vedas, remembers Gayatri mantra, and remembers my name, he should be considered to observe silence. 389. Steadiness or stillness of mind means to keep our mind merged into our own reality as Atman, or occupied with religion, or maintain ourselves in the company of saints. 390. The devotee is always having forgiveness because he has faith that anything which happens to his body, either pleasurable or painful, or any respect or disrespect is given to him, all depends on destiny. 391. This is the quality of forgiveness. Now, lack of fear or fearlessness implies the sense of unity in everything which a man looks upon. And 392, he knows that Atman is one of the five great elements which are not different and nothing is separate from oneself. When there is nothing other, where is the place for fear and resultant sorrow? 393. The fact is, when the very sense of duality disappears, fear cannot be found anywhere. Even if one wants, it is as medicine. When the attitude of Atmic view is confirmed, it guarantees fearlessness and happiness. 394. These are the 12 controls of Yama. O Dhava, thus I have told you the essential meaning of these. Now I will tell you the rules of conduct or niyama in a very simple way. शौचं जपस्तपो होमः श्रद्धातिथ्यं मदर्चनं तीर्थाटनं परार्थेः तुष्टेराचार्य सेवनम्. Meaning of the verse: austerity, sacrifice, yajna, that is, reverence of true religion, bodily cleanliness and mental purity, repetition of the name of God, penance, hospitality, offering worship to me, visiting sacred places, working for the welfare of others, contentment, and service to the Guru. 395. Now I shall tell you what is cleanliness. Mind should be kept clean by pure thoughts, and body should be washed by water, etc., according to the custom. 396. As regards chanting of God's name, a man should repeat the name of God according to his capacity and religious authority, or the name given by Guru, or the name of the Guru himself. 397. In case of Brahmin, when he recites Veda, what is his japa? And in that case of a sannyasi, the japa is a repetition of Om. In case of the three higher castes, the mantra should be selected according to the scriptures, and repetition of God's name is authorized for all people. 398. The penance consists of observance of those actions which are purifying the mind, and everybody should act with love according to his own religious code. 399. To starve the physical body in the name of penance is foolishness. To meditate on God as truth in a heart is the really highest type of penance. 400. Now listen to the truth about yajna. Fire is the mouth of gods. To perform 5 kinds of yajnas and to maintain the domestic sacred fire, etc., are called the yajnas. 401. O Dhava, to have really deep love for me and to be really religious means to have shraddha or faith. 402. When a man is visited by someone, he may not have much money or material to give him, but he is very courteous and offers a friendly welcome, bows before even the poor and weak people, and gives them satisfaction by kind and tender talk. 403. When he sees any forlorn or destitute, he courteously gives him some money as a help. These actions are the real hospitality. 404. To gather devotional persons together and with heartfelt devotion to perform MI worship is a good collective ceremony. 405. Or to invite good and pious Brahmins in good number and to perform their worship in all the 16 offerings gives me real happiness, and such puja of pious Brahmins is my puja, a very sacred worship. 406. One should make a habit of visiting sacred places of pilgrimage, which helps purify our mind. To have good faith in this pilgrimage is real pilgrimage. 407. This pilgrimage consists of continuous loud collective singing of my name and glory, and to be unselfish. 408. One should live only to oblige others, just like the hills and mountains, which exist and bear the burden of minerals and trees only to help others. 409. One should give peace and cool comfort by his speech and his deeds, just as the rays of the moon are cooling and soothing by touch. 410. When a man is content with what he gets by providence and has no complaint about disparity or partiality at all, he is to be called pleased with what he gets. 411. When a man surrenders himself, his body, his speech, his mind, and even his money to his guru, becomes free from the bondage of his worldly life, and this is called the service to Guru. 412. The cleanliness is of two kinds, and these are 10 rules of conduct. Thus, there are 12 vows or rules of conduct. So said the Lord. Ete yamasa niyamaha ubhayordvadasha smritaha pumsamupasitastat yatha kamam duhantihi. Meaning of the verse. These are well-known yamas and yamas, both 12 in number, and when people perform their actions according to these, that gives them whatever they desire. 413. Thus, in two verses, yamas and niyamas with 12 signs of either were told by the Lord. These are the key instructions of spiritual life. 414. If a person follows these instructions purposely, they will give him all he wishes, like the divine cow Kamadhen. 415. And if a person follows these vows without selfish purpose, he will eventually reach my divine abode. 416. Now, O Uddhava, I shall explain to you the meaning of Shama and Dama, etc., about which you have put forward your questions. 417. Eknath says, if you listen to the answers given by the Lord, it will itself give you knowledge of Brahman. That is the highest truth. 418. Just as mother feeds her child kindly holding each small morsel by her hand, so the Lord is giving this knowledge to Uddhava slowly and lovingly. 419. The father tastes a juice, and when he finds it sweet, he gives it sips to his son also. Similarly, the Lord is giving the juice of wisdom to Uddhava. 420. The milk of mother flows copiously from her breast by the touch of its lips to the breast, because her love for the little child is tremendous. 421. Similarly, the Lord by his nature is already eager to give divine wisdom, and Uddhava asked so good questions that the Lord was further pleased. 422. When there is already a heavy rain, and if the wind and the lightning come to help, there is tremendous downpour which lashes the land and great floods run fast. 423. Similarly, asking questions by Uddhava was only a timely cause for imparting the instructions about self-wisdom. And now the Lord is really pleased. He is now giving full knowledge to his disciple. 424. He who denies the gem Chintamani, available in exchange of salt or the magic stone, is exchange of a brick, shall only be definite loser. 425. Similarly, through a few questions of Uddhava, the Lord is giving the knowledge of real spiritual life. So, the audience may please give full attention to this discourse. 426. Uddhava had 34 questions. Out of them, 2 questions have been answered. Now, 32 questions are remaining. Please let us listen further. 427. Pity is not included by the Lord in his categorical answers, but he was implied it in a description of the glory of 6 virtues. 428. He will also explain why he had done like that in the wake of his replies. 429. Thus, there are 31 questions. The Lord will also explain one more, which is non-attachment to action, which I have to tell just now for ready reference. 430. So, there are 33 questions which will be answered by the Lord, thus offering knowledge of Brahman in the simplest manner. Shamo mannishtata buddhehe dharma. No. Shamo mannishtata buddher dharma indriya. No. So that Rekha should not be there, not Dharma, it should be Dhamma. Okay. So the Rekha is wrong, it's a typo. Shamo mannishtata buddhe dhamma indriya sanyamaha titiksha tu dukha sammarshaha jivhopastha jayo dhritihi. Meaning of the verse. Shama is complete faith and intellect in me. Dhamma is control of sense organs and action organs. Titiksha is forbearance of pain, and dhriti is control of the tongue and the sex. 431. The Lord spoke. The intellect which has discretion rejects the useless and abides by only the useful and helpful, and it also controls the wayward urges of the mind. 432. And as salt becomes merged into the sea, this intellect also merges into the God, together with all projections of thoughts. 433. It becomes spirit only just as the salt becomes the sea. 434. When the intellect becomes peaceful like this, it is called the state of Shama. But Dhamma, which is control of organs, is required to be achieved earlier. I shall tell you now about it. 435. Here Dhamma does not mean suppression of an enemy. Here the organs of the body are to be controlled. How is it to be done? I am telling you. 436. You should understand that this control of organs is to be exercised with such a tact that through it the peace of mind will be helped. We have not to allow any enjoyment which is not sanctioned by scriptures and which have always to be kept under control by a desireless nature. 437. Thus, to keep our organs bound by desirelessness is called Dhamma. Now, what is Titiksha? 438. This implies receiving pain with the same readiness as we receive pleasure. 439. As the sky does not get disturbed if there is light or darkness, one sustains pain as calmly as one enjoys the pleasures. 440. If a stone thrown by somebody hits us, we feel pain. But if we find that it is not stone but a piece of pure gold, our pain turns into surprise and happiness. 441. So, when we realize that dualities or opposites are really manifestations of one totality of spirit, our reactions come to an end. This is Titiksha. 442. To see ourselves to be beyond the opposites by cutting off our pride of physical bodies, Titiksha or forbearance. 443. The piety of or opulence in our dream are proved to be false when we wake up. Similarly, to see ourselves separate from pain and pleasure is the real forbearance. 444. To control completely the tongue as regards speech and taste, and to control the sexual organ is the real courage for holding tongue. To have knowledge is not dhriti, but to control these organs amounts to that quality. 445. These two organs should be kept under control vigilantly, as if one holds a black cobra in one's hand. If the hold is relaxed even slightly, these organs turn against the holder, just as the cobra may bite. The man is destroyed. 446. This controlling power does not remain with the man who is crazy about money and women, but remains happily with that person who is not interested in money and women. Dandanyasah parandanam kamatyagasthapasmrutam swabhava vijaya shauryam satyam cha samadarshanam. Meaning of the verse. Having no enmity towards the entire creation is the highest form of charity. Penance is consisting in abandoning luxuries. Valor or bravery consists in curbing one's natural desires of cravings, and truthfulness consists in perceiving unity as Brahman everywhere, or to see everything with equanimity. 447. Not to hurt anybody, but to give comfort is the greatest act of charity. 448. We have to try to believe people from their suffering. We have to try to relieve people from their suffering and make effort to give whatever comforts are possible to them, such as charity, that no other charity in the world can be compared to it. 449. O Dhava, the suffering which is to be redressed is the sorrow of birth and death, and the happiness which has to be given is the great attainment of Atmic bliss. 450. O Dhava, please remember well that this is the real spiritual journey. This is the real spiritual charity. Now, what is penance? That also I shall tell you. 451. To drop all desires is the best penance. If one has the fire of passion in his heart, there is no possibility of any penance. Outward penance has no value. 452. A man goes to a forest to observe some penance, but alas, there also he continues to think about women and pleasures. That penance becomes poisonous to him. 453. When the desire for physical pleasure, sexual or otherwise, is totally dropped and I'm constantly remembered in one's mind, then only the pure penance happens. 454. When a man repents about his indulgence in the worldly pleasures, turns his heart totally to meditate upon me, that is the highest penance in which my spiritual nature is concentrated upon in that meditation. 455. Now consider what valor is. The valor here is not of having victory over any enemy army in a battle. 456. Here valor means to defeat the sense of limited jivaness and to embrace totality. 457. What is the sense of being a jiva? To consider ourselves to be a person doing every righteous action, being definitely a man of great knowledge, or being Brahman of a pure body. Being a Brahman of a pure body. 458. The man is having great illusion about his body when he is proud of his status or a social class or his personal stage in life, that is Varna or Ashrama. 459. This pride is to be dropped and one has to enjoy the kingdom of one's Atmic glory. And spiritual omnipresence is the really valor worth the name. 460. The truth is to see everything with equal gaze as if everything is absolute Brahman. 461. To see the difference in all the objects while essentially there is only one existence is the unfortunate state of untruth, and to see Brahman equally everywhere is truth. 462. So in short, to speak truth is not enough. Eknath says, now the Lord is going to explain the subject further. Ritancha sunrata vani kavibhiv parikirtita karma swasangamas Karma swasangama shaucham tyaga sannyasa uchyate. Meaning of the verse. Rita has been declared by the wise as consisting in truthful and agreeable speech. Shauchucha is, which is the variety of tyaga, when taken in the sense of shaking of impurity, consists in absence of attachment to actions, while tyaga is taken as consisting in entering the order of sannyasa by renouncing the worldly affairs. 463. Some persons of knowledge say that Rita, which is wholesome and helpful to evolution, is truth, which is in a way correct definition in the field of positivity. But the truth is better understood as Brahman when we take the meaning suitable for the path of Rita. 464. Here, Rita means the speech which is truly helpful to remove the sorrow and pain of the listener. 465. But consider the example of various paintings on a wall. As the wall is the only one, though the paintings are many, objects in the world are many, but the wise man of self-knowledge perceives Brahman only, which is same everywhere. 466. Please remember that Brahman is truth. Eknath says, though there is no question about cleanliness asked by Uddhava, the Lord is explaining it of his own accord. 467. If the mind is not pure and the body is not healthy, their renunciation is not possible. Therefore, the Lord Shri Krishna is telling the importance of unattached performance of duty, which is the key of total cleanliness. 468. The Lord said, there is bondage of karma and its residual effect in the consciousness that should be washed off by doing our own duty. Thus, the bondage of karma should be removed by karma only, so that one will be actionless. 469. How does this happen? When the desire for fruit is dropped in the performance of our duty, the bondages of karma are removed. We should therefore purify our mind quickly by being anxious about results or fruits of karma. 470. When we have no hopes and anxieties, the dirt of thoughts about the fruit is washed away from mind. This is true cleanliness. 471. And this is the base of acceptance of sannyasa. Thus, the Lord has Himself brought in this subject to clarify the mental status behind the action of sannyasa. 472. The Lord said to drop each and every intention and urge arising in the mind is sannyasa, and that is also the highest renunciation. 473. What happens in the ordinary case? The man has a hard core of the idea that he is the body, and therefore his mind is always anxious to be or not to be, to do or not to do, etc. So his psyche is always agitated, but outwardly he dons the dress of a saffron color, takes a staff and a kamandalu, and becomes a sannyasi outwardly. This is nothing but a social conformity and has no meaning. Dharmamishtam dhanandrunam yajnyoham bhagavattamah dakshinadyana sandeshaha pranayama param balam. Meaning of the verse. Righteousness is the highest wealth of men. Myself, the Supreme Lord, am the yajna. Dakshina, gift made at sacrifice, consists in service to the Guru, and pranayam, control of breath, is the greatest strength. 474. We are considering the qualities required for spiritual progress. Here, the wealth which is useful for the seeker is not money, grains, cattle, jewels, etc., but religion as righteous action is the wealth. 475. One may have great amount of money stored underground, but it does not come with that man on spiritual journey. Only religion comes with us, free from bondage. So I think we will pause over here. My God, so many definitions in today's and so compact, so clear. So this again reminds of Tattva Bodha, where those definitions were compact. Does everyone have Tattva Bodha book at home? If one doesn't have, who are in Singapore can go to the mission and buy tomorrow itself. And those who are in India, elsewhere, just go online and order your Tattva Bodh book from Chinmay Mission bookstore. That one book we must have, and today's definitions was reminding of that. Each, it's like a single line, single line, single line. We have covered quite a lot verses today, almost 100 verses, because the flow of thought is really going in continuation, and didn't want to stop now, but we'll meet again tomorrow to find out the other definitions. So anything from Yama Niyamasa, and he has mentioned about 12 Yamas, 12 Niyamas out over here. Small definitions. Huh? What would be non-violence? What is non-attachment? What is prarabdha? What is a silence? What is steadiness? So these were covered earlier. Then in the Niyamas aspect, he came with what is cleanliness, he has come. And all those definitions from 395 onwards. So those were also like what is Shraddha. Those were also very beautiful. It is hospitality. Then this topic when the Shaucha came, he said about two kinds. So that was also very beautiful. Then eventually reached the divine word. Okay. Then the other questions when he's answering about the Shaman, Daman, Titiksha. Yeah, that's the time when I remember Tattva Bodh. And those definitions also were very beautiful. Like to keep our organs bound by desirelessness is called dhamma. Receiving pain with same readiness as we receive pleasure is titiksha. And dhruti, it's not dhruti, but to control sense organs to that quality. To have knowledge is not dhruti, but to control the organs amount to the quality. That is dhruti. That was very nice in triple four. Thus, controlling power does not remain with the man who is crazy about money and women, but remains happily with that person who is not interested. So, where the power comes, it's like the butterfly, no? If you don't chase it, it will come and settle on you. If the more you keep chasing, it will keep flying only, fluttering only. So, it's something like that. If we are steady, that steadiness attracts things. So, that was also beautiful. And then the last few verses were really very excellent. What was that? Having no enmity towards creation and all. So those were good. 451 was excellent. To drop all desires is the best penance. If one has a fire of passion in his heart, there is no possibility of any penance. So it's like, no, we carry our mind away. I'm so hurt. I'm so this, my mind. I just need one break. I just need a holiday. And you go to an holiday place, but you are carrying the same mind over there. Will still become, however, the outside place might be beautiful, you'll still remain agitated. So I remember that while reading that 459, that if we are if we are mentally not happy, we cannot be happy, even if we go on a very expensive holiday. So it's a very, all those definitions were really very, means they gave a lot of clarity. And if we are remembering Ganapati Atharva Shirsha, there we say, na, Ritam Vachmi, Satyam Vachmi. Hmm? So that Rita, that was spoken over here. So I felt the Rita definitions came up very beautiful. That Rita has been declared by the wise means it's truth, but it is even something more than that. So that I loved in today's reading, how Rita word has been brought out, which normally we will not otherwise understand what is Rita. And towards the end, that righteousness is the highest wealth of men. So that I liked. Uh, and that is the most difficult partner to stay righteous even in a adverse situation. As long as my circumstances are fine, I'm very nice to all. I can be happy, pleasing, everything. But moment our spouse or children irks us, all our peace of mind is gone and we will shout back, we will scream. We might even abuse two words back of what they have said. So as long as our circumstances are very nice, favoring us, we will remember all Vedanta very clearly. So in the adverse situation, how to yoke the mind to the Lord. So that one definition was there, no? About that fear. So if there are two things you will have fear, harm from this one will come and I have to protect from that one and this and that. But for a person who is having that oneness vision, there is no two things. So that person is becoming fearless only. You have to read some Mahatmas' autobiographies. Most of the stories of these Mahatmas, they will say how alone in Himalayas they were, in the jungle, in this, and how the wild animals would come. Mm. For a Mahatma with that vision, how the wild animals won't harm what they see. So the wild animals harm means what? Our breath pattern changes when we have fear. And when the animal senses a threat, it is attacking. But in the presence of Mahatma, they come to subdue their viciousness or what a wild nature. because the vibes that they get is not getting danger. I've read so many Mahatmas, so many autobiographies in different kinds. And generally, when they go to Himalayas in a secluded place and they are doing their meditation and all, I also remember one day Swami Shukdevanand ji, when he had said that he had gone all alone to what Tal. So Tal is a lake in Himalayas, and there how nothing was there, and it was pitch darkness, and how there was he found one temple to rest. And he when he was lying down, and when his eyes opened, there were two eyes lurking at him. It was some big cat, means some lion or tiger or like that, a tiger something, but nothing. And Swamiji stood there still only, lying down still only, and uh, that animal which came didn't do anything to Swamiji. Swami Shukdevananda had said this. So this I heard directly from a saint, but few other saints' books I have read all have a similar experience in the wilderness. So this fearlessness comes when there are no two things. So that definition in today's thing I liked and I've underlined, marked, and I've come, but now I'm not seeing where I have marked it. There is, as I was reading, I was keeping on underlining, but I'm not seeing that fear thing, but it is there. So, anyways, I remember it, so I just took it off. So, beautiful reading. If anybody else has any kind of thoughts, please share.
I also read this, Varshaji. When they do this tapas in the wild, one person asks, "Don't you feel that fear?" No, only if I feel different, there is fear. If I am with that oneness, I don't feel that fear. Don't get that fear.
Two things are there. There is one we should experience, not that one is, and become fearless. So, we meet tomorrow again. Tomorrow, who wants to read?
I can read.
Okay.
I'll do.
So, we are starting from 476 tomorrow.
Yeah.
ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ओम् श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम् श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु. Hari Om everyone. Thank you for joining. See you all tomorrow.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Varshaji.
Thank you. Hari Om. Hari Om.